Durham's Keaton Jennings and Derbyshire's Mark Foote were in good form on the first day of a very important LV County Championship match, for different reasons for each team, at the Emirates Durham International Cricket Ground. Wayne Madsen thought conditions were good to bowl in first, and Foote responded to that decision by having the acting Durham captain Mark Stoneman caught at mid-on in his second over. Stoneman was in charge as Paul Collingwood missed out with a thumb injury for a game which Durham will want to win to keep their championship title ambitions very much alive, while Derbyshire need to start winning, something they've yet to do so far this season, to stand any real chance of staying up this year. Scott Borthwick put that early dismissal behind him with some neat shots, while Jennings mixed a solid defence with some pressure relieving boundaries as the home side began to turn this into a decent enough start against an attack which has done well for much of the season, only to be let down by some batting collapses on occasions. Foote was especially impressive on this day and picked up his second wicket of the morning by bowling full and straight to Borthwick with some dip to have the batsman LBW for 22. That ended a second wicket partnership of 48, but another one was soon being developed as Will Smith joined Jennings and the two began to bat their side into a good position. The latter worked the ball into the gaps well as he was able to bat throughout a fairly even opening session. And he continued to prosper in the afternoon, with this flick taking him to his first 50 of the summer at his 12th attempt. He'd used up 117 deliveries for this one and had struck just the 4 fours, but he had, importantly, kept the Derbyshire bowlers at bay. Smith also batted with authority, making the most of anything he was offered, and as this partnership moved on, Madsen may have just started to wonder if he'd make the right decision at the toss. These two took the total along to 122 by adding an untroubled 70 runs for the third wicket. But then, just when they needed to, Derbyshire broke through, Tim Groenewald finding the edge as Smith went on the attack to give Dan Redfern a catch in the slips. Smith was out for 43 and was swiftly followed back to the pavilion by new man Michael Richardson, who'd made only 5 when he nicked a back foot drive off Groenewald to Tom Poynton behind the stumps. So we were back on an even keel with Durham on 132 for 4, but they aren't fighting for the title for no reason at all, and as Phil Mustard came out to join Jennings, it was they who once more started to push themselves ahead of their opponents either side of the tea interval. It wasn't always easy for the home side. For the most part, the visiting attack didn't give much away, but when they did, both batsmen invariably made the most of anything on offer. The two left-handers played their shots to all parts of a ground where there have been some classic games of cricket this summer where totals of around 250 have been par. That didn't look as if it would be the case here, however, as this pair added 90 in 33 overs to make a score of well above 300 appear eminently possible. Indeed, conditions were now ideal for batting in, yet, seemingly from nowhere, Durham collapsed rather horribly. First with the old ball, Wes Durston trapped Jennings in front, only 7 runs away from his ton, a championship best for him. And then, in the same over, the spinner also accounted for Ben Stokes, who came in at 7 feeling unwell, and he drove without getting to the pitch, lobbing a simple catch to Madsen before he'd scored. That left Durham on 222 for 6, but they still had Mustard in, and he was able to complete his half-century off his 105th delivery, an innings containing 8 fours. He now needed to kick on with the tail to make the most of the earlier hard work, but he now had the second new ball to contend with. And how Foote made the most of that. With his first ball with it, he had Gareth Breeze held in the slips by a tumbling John Clare. Then, 3 balls later, he also got shot of Mustard for 52, Clare with his second catch of the over after the bowler extracted some extra bounce from the surface. Foote now had 4, and next ball he turned that into his second fifer of the summer with a perfect left-armer's delivery to trap Callum Thorpe in front. Foote had taken 3 for 1 in a match-changing single over. He then claimed a 6th for the second time in his career by yorking Chris Rushworth with another ideal delivery. That meant that the bowler beat his previous best of 6 for 120 made in May by claiming figures of 6 for 53. Thanks to him, Durham had stumbled from 222 for 4 to 253 all out in the space of 11 overs, but Rushworth then had Chesney Hughes LBW with the second ball of the reply as the wickets kept on coming. Rushworth was also mighty close to removing the makeshift opener Richard Johnson with an absolute perler. But he survived along with his captain to end another enthralling day's cricket in the North East. Derbyshire will have to bat well on day 2 to get ahead. They'll resume on 15 for 1, leaving them 238 runs behind.